Now, for more analysis about today, I'm joined in our Durban studio by political analyst Professor Adam Habib. Adam, thanks for joining us this evening.
It's a pleasure.
Is it just lip service, Adam?
Look, I think that the dilemmas of governance are going to have a greater impact on the ANC now. We've always said that Jacob Zuma's alliance was a very diverse alliance, that as soon as the dilemmas of governance impact upon them, that they're likely to divide. And we've begun to see some tensions around this from the tripartite alliance partners. There's clearly the nationalist wing feel that the Communist Party and COSATU have too much influence. The Communist Party and COSATU feel the nationalists are too influenced by BE entrepreneurs, that they're not sufficiently representing the mass of the unemployed, the mass of the working class. And there's a huge degree of tensions around policy questions. And I think we're likely to see more of that over the next 6 months.
What is the difference between this ANC leadership post-Polokwane from ANC leadership in the past, from the time of Sisulu, from Mandela?
Prior to governance, you remember this was a party of liberation, and they didn't confront the dilemmas of governance. Governance requires making hard choices, and that's why we've seen this leadership and the previous one begin to have some problems. It is also true that this administration is very different from the Mbeki administration, in the sense that it is probably more responsive to the citizenry. It takes crime much more seriously. It takes the issue of development much more seriously. It takes the issue of poverty alleviation much more seriously. I think it recognizes that in the last 15 years, the rich, both black and white, have done very well, but that the poor and marginalized haven't done sufficiently well, and it has become more responsive in that regard. You've seen it emphasize rural development. You've seen it emphasize unemployment. You've seen it emphasize inclusive development. It's beginning to speak about the kinds of issues that people have wanted it to address over the last 15 years. And I think it is much more responsive than the Mbeki administration.
But you're right about that when you say that they are speaking about it. But there are a lot of criticism still that you've got to turn all that speech into action. That still doesn't seem to be happening at grassroots. And too many people are saying that President Zuma is Mr. Nice Guy. He's all things to all people. He's all about compromise and consensus. Now, what about decisive leadership?
Well, I think that's true. I think firstly, it's worth bearing in mind that they have to translate all of the rhetoric into action. And that does mean we have to give them time. This is an administration that's only been in power for 9 months. We have to see in the next year whether it can get its act together. As far